Good evening, and thank you for joining me on Black News Tonight. I'm Marc Lamont Hill. We start tonight with some good news for a graduating class at an Ohio HBCU. Wilberforce University announces that it will cancel student debt for 2020 and 2021 graduates. That's more than $375,000 worth of debt. Dr. Elfred Anthony Pinkard, who's president of Wilberforce, made the announcement on Saturday. The debt will be covered by various scholarships such as the UNCF and Jack and Jill. The initiative includes fines and fees owed to the university and tuition balances that were being paid directly to the university by students or their parents. It doesn't cover federal loans, bank loans, or any kind of personal loans, though, taken out by the students. I am now joined by Dr. Pinkard, university president.
Hello.
Sir, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure.
Now, first of all, if you're feeling good right now, I got a whole team of producers that got debt. You know, I got some bills right now. You know, if you feeling spicy, you know, Doc.
As you might imagine, that's what I've been getting the last several days. And boy, I wish I could do that. I wish I was able to forgive the debt and give everyone a fresh start. But unfortunately, I'm only limited to what we're able to do for our students at Wilberforce.
Well, hey, that was more than enough. How did it feel being able to announce that you were going to clear the debt for graduates, especially at a time like this?
Well, actually, Mark, that's exactly it. You've put your finger on it at a time like this. You know, for the last 15 months, our students have gone through, the world has been upended. And our students, these are young people. These are young people who had never had this sort of experience before. And what struck me and what moved me actually for this class and last year's class was the fact that these young people did not allow this pandemic to derail them on their journey to get their degree. And also there's a prevailing narrative about young African-American teens and young adults. And often that narrative is not a good one. And I was looking at and experiencing a group of young people who were offering a counter-narrative, who had taken their future in their hands, did not allow the uncertainty of a global pandemic to derail them when everyone else was flailing around. And so it was, we live for those moments. Those of us who are in the academy and who work with young people, we live for that moment. It was an exquisite moment of just unbridled joy to just see those young people just express their appreciation, and to know also that their institution, their alma mater, cared enough about them to think about giving them a little bit more runway in their future for them to start fresh. So it was incredible.
I mean,
incredible.
That's a whole lot of runway, Doc.
Yeah.
No, that's a whole lot of runway. You use more than $375,000 to clear this debt. This type of funding itself is rare for HBCUs. Do you think this will be the impetus, or maybe the inspiration, even for more schools to do the same?
Well, we hope that it will be. We have colleagues at other HBCUs that are looking for ways to do similar sorts of things for their students, and particularly over this last 15 months, where our students have been disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19. And so hopefully this will be the impetus for a new way of approaching our students and giving them something in addition to the degrees that they've earned, and it's celebrating them in a way that it's very pragmatic, in fact, to be able to say to a young person, look, you don't owe the university anything, and so go forth and be great. But this debt, we've cleared it for you. And it's a good feeling to be able to do. Don't know if we're going to be able to do it in subsequent years, but certainly very excited that we were able to do it for 2 classes this year.
2 classes, that is impressive. And you see that brother right there out there. You got brother jumping up and down. You got people running around the building like it's a gospel service. It's amazing to see that joy.
Yeah.
Man.
It was incredible.
I loved it, Doc. Well, Doc, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And again, congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
extraordinary work you're doing at Wilberforce University,
Thank you
and to
so much
all
for
the
this
HBCUs out there. We honor you and we thank you. Absolutely. All right, family, it's time to turn to Florida, where new video has been released of a shootout between two children and deputies in Volusia County. We do have to warn you that the video is disturbing. The children, a 12-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, reportedly ran away from a children's group home on Tuesday evening. They broke into a home, stealing the homeowner's guns, and when deputies tried to talk them into surrendering, they got into a shootout. Both children shot at the deputies multiple times before the 14-year-old girl was shot. She was taken to the hospital and she has life-threatening injuries. In fact, tonight, she remains in the hospital still fighting for her life. Meanwhile, the 12-year-old boy was not injured in the incident, but was still taken to the hospital. Prosecutors are asking for a judge to give more time to prepare for the federal trial of 4 former Minneapolis officers involved in the death of George Floyd. They say the case is unusual and complex due to the volume of the evidence. In fact, more evidence is expected to come out during the state trial of the other officers. It's also because of the separate but coordinated state and federal investigations that are taking place. A federal grand jury indicted Derek Chauvin, Thomas Lane, Jay Kung, and Tao Thao last month, alleging that they violated Floyd's rights while acting under the government's authority. Floyd died after Chauvin held his knee on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. And of course, Chauvin is the only officer yet to be convicted in the case for murder and manslaughter. The other 3 officers are set to face trial next March on aiding and abetting counts. A new report reveals that the Virginia Military Institute has failed to address institutional racism and sexism over the years. The 145-page state-sanctioned report points out that racial slurs and jokes are not uncommon and that they contribute to an atmosphere of hostility toward minorities. The report also found that a racial disparity exists among cadets who have been dismissed by the school's student-run honor court. Cadets of color represent 23% of the Corps, but they make up 41% of those who have been dismissed since 2011. Sexual assault, also a big finding there. A survey found that 14% of female cadets reported being sexually assaulted, while 63% said that a fellow cadet had told them that he or she was a victim of sexual assault. The editor-in-chief of the Journal of the American Medical Association will step down after the publication received backlash over controversial comments made by another editor on a podcast. Dr. Howard Bouchner had top positions at JAMA since 2011. And on February 24th, Deputy Editor Ed Livingston said that structural racism no longer existed in the United States. Bouchner said that he was disappointed in himself for the lapses that led to the JAMA network putting out a podcast episode and a tweet featuring the comments that dismissed the existence of structural racism within the healthcare system. He announced that he'd be resigning in a statement on Tuesday. He's been on administrative leave since March while the American Medical Association reviewed the matter. Bouchner's resignation will take effect on June 30th.